All right, what's the ordered pair for the vertex? Anybody want to raise your hand and give me that? Che.
0, 2.
Yep, so right here, this is the vertex because it's the highest point. So that would be 0, 2. All right, raise your hand if you think it's a maximum. Who thinks it's a minimum? All right, I agree it's a maximum because it's the highest point. And the axis of symmetry is always this number right here. So, and you started off as x equals, and this would be 0. Any questions about those first three? All right, let's go ahead and take out your homework. Did we fill in the y-intercepts yesterday? Did we talk about that in this class? Okay. I think I just did that second and third period. So let's talk about that real quick. So it is in your notes, but we didn't really emphasize it a lot. So that's why I wanted to talk about it with you. For your y-intercept, the y-intercept is always C. They go together, okay? So when I'm looking at this first equation, A is 1, B is 6, and C is 8. So your y-intercept would be at 8. So you're going to write that as 0, 8. Another thing to keep in mind is that your domain for every single last one of them is all real numbers. So you can fill that in for all of them. Okay, so then you can fill out the rest. Now let's look at question number 2. For question 2, For question 2, let's start off by filling in your A, B, and C. So A is -1, B is -2, and C is +2. So again, this number here, that's your y-intercept. So for your y-intercept, you're going to put 0, 2. Your domain is all real numbers. I'm going to abbreviate that ARN for all real numbers. Now, because this one is negative, because that's negative, this is going to be a frown, which means it's going to have a maximum. It has a maximum when A is negative. It has a minimum when A is positive. All right, let's go ahead, flip it over to.
At this time, all freshmen need to proceed to the auditorium. All freshmen need to proceed to the auditorium. Bring your belongings. There will be dismissal from the auditorium. Again, all freshmen report to the auditorium. Teachers, you need to go with your students. Teachers, you need to go with your students. If you have freshmen on the high school side in a mixed class, they can get there. Other teachers will supervise if they are only a few. If your class is majority freshmen on the high school side, you need to attend with them. Again, teachers, move your students quickly to the auditorium and get seated toward the front. There are no assigned seats. Get moving to the auditorium at this time. Thank you.
Okay, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, y'all? Okay, let's go to number 3. So let's look at question 3. So A is 2. What is B?
-4.
-4. What is C? 3. So again, that's my y-intercept. We're going to go ahead and fill that in right now. We're going to also fill in our domain because that does not change. Now, because this is positive, that means we have a minimum. Go ahead and circle minimum. And then for your range, because it's a minimum, your range is going to start off as y is greater than or equal to. And we'll have to do our table to figure out what number will go there. All right, so let's go ahead and work through question 2. I think 2 might be the hardest. So let's do that one together if you haven't already. So let's look at question 2. So question 2, we have to start off by finding your axis of symmetry. So remember, the formula for axis of symmetry is opposite of b divided by 2a. So x equals, go ahead and make your fraction bar. Because this is negative, you're going to put the opposite in the numerator. So the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. And then you're going to divide that by 2 times a, which is negative 1. So go ahead, type that in your calculator. Figure out what you get when you take 2 divided by, and that's going to be 2 divided by negative 2. That's what you have when you type that in your calculator. So what is 2 divided by negative 2? Negative 1. Who agrees with Pierre? All right, so I'm going to put that right here. X equals negative 1. Negative 1 will go right here. So now let's find our y value. So to find your y value, you're going to type this in. So do you see how this has a negative right here? So you have to put that negative in front, make your parentheses, squared, and then it would be minus 2, parentheses, plus 2. So go ahead, pick up your calculator and type it in just like this with the negative in front. So you have to include this minus sign in front of that first parentheses. So this is exactly how you want to type it in, just like that. So what did you all get? Anyone have a number? I forgot the answer, so. 3. Anybody else get 3? Raise your hand if you agree with 3. All right, so that is going to be my vertex. So for the vertex, I want you to write negative 1, positive 3. And then also that positive 3, we're going to use that in our range. So let's go ahead and fill in our range. Because this is a maximum, it's a frown. You're going to start off with y is less than or equal to. Instead of greater than, we use less than. And we're going to put that 3 right here. All right, so now let's look back here at me. So negative 1 on the number line is right here. So you need to pick the 2 numbers on the left side of negative 1 and the 2 numbers on the right side of negative 1. So we're going to put negative 3, negative 2, 0, and 1. So let's go ahead and fill in our table. So we're going to put in our negative 3, negative 2, 0, and 1. And now I'm just going to write that out again. So we have a negative in front, parentheses squared, minus 2, parentheses, plus 2. So I'm going to keep writing that out. And now pick up your calculator and start filling it in to get these 4 numbers. And keep in mind that whatever you get for this number, you should get the same number for this box too. And whatever you get in this box, you should get the same number in this box. So go ahead and take a minute and fill in those 4 numbers. And then after you do that, we're just going to graph it out.